Hello students, today we will learn conditional statement, converse, proof, types of proofs of the theorem and practice set 1.3. What are conditional statements? The statements which can be written in if-then form are called conditional statement. The part of the statement following if is called given part, and the part following then is called to be proved part. Let us see example of conditional statement. The sum of measures of all angles of a triangle is 180 degree. This statement I have to write in conditional form. It means using if then. How can I write this? If the figure is a triangle, what is that? Answer. If the figure is a triangle, then sum of measures of its all angles is 180 degree. Here, what is given? The sum of measures of all angles of a triangle is 180. It means if the figure is a triangle, then sum of measures of its all angles is 180 degree. This is called conditional statement. One more way. Corresponding angles formed by two parallel lines and their transversal are congruent. So here, what is given part? Two parallel lines and transversal are given. If parallel lines are given, then corresponding angles are congruent. So we'll write it as if two parallel lines and transversal are given, then corresponding angles are congruent. Third one, diagonals of kite are perpendicular to each other. If quadrilateral is a kite, then its diagonals are perpendicular to each other. Here, the part of the statement between if and then, this is called given part. It means part of the statement following if. This is called given part. Part of the statement following then, it means after then, sum of its measures is 180 degree. This is called to be proved part. This is called given part. So we should be able to identify given part and to be proved part. Converse. What do you mean by converse? If given and to be proved part of a given conditional statement are interchanged, the resulting statement is called converse of that statement. Diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. First, we'll write this as in conditional statement. Diagonals of a parallelogram is given. Diagonals bisect each other. This is to be proved part. Now, how we'll write in conditional form? If a quadrilateral is a parallelogram, then its diagonals bisect each other. This is conditional statement. How to write its converse? What do you mean by converse? The given part. First we'll identify which one is given part. Quadrilateral is parallelogram. This is given part. Diagonals bisect each other. This is to be proved part. If we interchange this, so if diagonals of quadrilateral bisect each other, then it is a parallelogram. So if diagonals of a quadrilateral bisect each other, then it is a parallelogram. Statement is true. It doesn't mean that its converses are true. Sometimes converses are true, but sometimes converses may not be true. We'll take an example. Diagonals of kite are perpendicular to each other. If quadrilateral is kite, its diagonals are perpendicular to each other. How will we write converse of this? If diagonals of quadrilateral are perpendicular to each other, then that quadrilateral is a kite. Here, conditional statement is true, but its converse is not true, because even if the diagonals are perpendicular to each other, it is not like that quadrilateral is kite. This year we are going to learn geometry originated by Greek mathematician Euclid. In this standard, we are going to look at a subject of geometry with a different point of view, which was originated by the Greek mathematician Euclid. He took for granted some self-evident geometrical statements which are accepted by all and called them postulate. He showed that on the basis of postulate, some more properties can be proved logically. Properties proved logically are called theorems. Some of the Euclid's postulates are: first one, there are infinite number of lines passing through a given point. Look at the figure. One point is given. Lines are drawn through this point. How many lines can be drawn? Infinite number of lines can be drawn. Second one, there is one and only one line passing through two distinct points. A and B are two distinct points. See how many lines can be drawn? One, and only one line can be drawn. Number 3, a circle of a given radius can be drawn taking any point as its center. Fourth one, all right angles are congruent with each other. Fifth one, if two interior angles form on one side of a transversal of two lines add up to less than two right angles, then lines produced in that direction intersect each other. Look at the figure. Angle B and angle E are interior angles whose sum is less than two right angles, that is 180. So if we produce in that direction, line L and line M definitely intersect each other. A property is supposed to be true if it can be proved logically. It is then called theorem. The logical argument made to prove a theorem is called proof. There are two types of proofs, direct and indirect proof. First we'll see example of direct proof. Look at the board. Theorem. The opposite angles formed by two intersecting lines are of equal measures. Two intersecting lines are given. I have to prove opposite angles are of equal measure. First I will write this in conditional form, that is if then form. So see how will I write this? If two lines intersect each other, then vertically opposite angles form are of equal measure. Here. Now I have to identify what is given part and what is to prove part. Given part, the part of a statement between if and then two lines intersect each other. This is my given part. So I will draw two intersecting lines. So this is, suppose this is line AB and this one is line CD. They intersect each other at point O. So first I will write given part. What is given part? Line AB and line CD intersect each other at point O. What is to prove part? The part of the statement after then vertically opposite angles form are of equal measure. That is to prove part. So first I have to identify which are vertically opposite angle. Angle AOC and angle BOD. That is angle AOC is equal to angle BOD. This is one pair of opposite angle. Second pair, which is that this one is equal to this. Now this one. Angle AOD is equal to angle BOC. So this I have to prove using logical reasoning. Angle AOC and angle AOD. What type of angles are these? They form linear pair. Okay, and we know that linear pair angles are supplementary. What do you mean by supplementary? Their measures, sum of their measures is 180 degree. So first one, angle AOC plus angle AOD is equal to 180 degree. The reason for this is linear pair angles. What is the property? Linear pair angles are supplementary. Supplementary means what? Their sum is 180 degree. Now, angle AOD and angle BOD, again they form linear pair. Which are these angles? Angle AOD plus angle BOD is equal to 180 degree. Reason, linear pair angles. So from 1 and 2, see the right hand side of statement number 1 and right hand side of statement number 2. Right hand side of statement number 1 and 2 are equal. So by logic, left hand sides are equal. So what will I get? Angle AOC plus angle AOD is equal to angle AOD plus angle BOD. This is from statement 1 and 2. Here angle AOD is common in both sides. So subtracting angle AOD from both the side, what I will get? Angle AOC is equal to angle BOD. It means I have proved first part of this proof. Similarly, we can prove angle AOD is equal to angle BOC. Hence proved. An example of indirect proof. Statement: a prime number greater than 2 is odd. First I will write this in conditional form, that is if then form. Conditional statement: if P is prime number greater than 2, then it is odd number. Part of the statement between if and then This is if, this one is then. This is the part of the statement between if and then, that is called given part. So what is given part? P is prime number greater than 2. What is to prove part? Part of the statement after then. This is to prove part. So to prove part is P is an odd number. We will prove this in indirect method. So in indirect method, first we assume whatever we are asked to prove is not true. I will assume, let us assume that P is not an odd number. This is our assumption. We have assumed this is not odd number. So if it is not an odd number, definitely it is an even number. Therefore, P is an even number. What do you mean by even number? Since P is an even number, therefore 2 is the factor of P. But it is given that but P is odd number greater than 2, and therefore 1 and P is the other factors of P. So what do you mean by prime number? What do you mean by prime numbers? If number has only two factors, that is 1 and that number only, the number is called prime number, and therefore 1 and P are two factors of P. Now, so this is statement 1 and this is statement 2. From statement 1 and statement 2, what will we get? Therefore 1, 2 and P are 3 factors of P, which is contradictory to the definition of prime number, and therefore our assumption that point P is not odd number is wrong, and therefore point P is an even number. Therefore this is contradiction. What do you mean by contradiction? Because prime numbers has only two factors, and here what we have proved, 1, 2 and P. There are 3 factors of prime number P, and therefore this is contradiction. Therefore our assumption is wrong, and therefore P is an even number. So in this way we prove this theorem. We have proved this theorem using indirect method. Practice set 1.3. Write the following statements in if-then form. It means conditional statement. The first one is the opposite angles of a parallelogram are congruent. Here quadrilateral is parallelogram, opposite angles are congruent. So if a quadrilateral is a parallelogram, then its opposite angles are congruent. Number 2, the diagonals of rectangle are congruent. Here quadrilateral is rectangle, then its diagonals are congruent. If a quadrilateral is a rectangle, then its diagonals are congruent. Question number 3. In an isosceles triangle, the segment joining the vertex and the midpoint of the base is perpendicular to the base. Answer. If a triangle is an isosceles triangle, then the segment joining the vertex and the midpoint of the base is perpendicular to the base. Question number 2. Write the converses of the following statement. What do you mean by converses? Given and to prove part are interchanged, the resulting statement is called converse of given statement. So the first question, the alternate angles formed by two parallel lines and their transversal are congruent. It means lines are parallel is the given part and alternate angles are congruent is to prove part. So we will interchange these given and to prove parts. Answer is, if alternate angles formed by two lines and their transversal are congruent, then those two lines are parallel. Second one, if a pair of interior angles made by transversal of two lines are supplementary, then the lines are parallel. Interior angles are supplementary, this is given part. Lines are parallel is to prove part. So we will interchange given and to prove part to get its converse. Answer is, if two lines are parallel, then interior angles made by the transversal are supplementary. Question number 3. The diagonals of a rectangle are congruent. First statement is, if quadrilateral is a rectangle, then its diagonals are congruent. Quadrilateral is rectangle is given part. Diagonals are congruent is to prove part. So we will interchange this to get converse. Answer is, if the diagonal of a quadrilateral are congruent, then it is a rectangle. Do like and subscribe my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.